Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 31 of my show, Episode 32 of my show, but about Episode 30 of Season 2. Now, Episode 30 in Season 2 is known as Mirror of Regret. But before I actually start talking about the actual video here, I just want to mention something. Since we're on episode 30, that means technically we've got, 30 then 32. So once we get to episode 32, we'll have 20 more videos left. Yeah, 20 more. So once we get to episode 32, whatever that video is going to be, it's probably going to be episode 34 of my show, but about episode 32. But once we get to that one, we'll have 20 more videos left. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to be recording and posting a video probably once a day, every day this week, because the next week coming up is this week, and this week coming up is the Christmas holiday, so I want to get a lot of YouTube videos out of the way for you guys, and I will probably do a Christmas wishes video probably before Christmas Eve and such, so expect that to happen as well ahead of time. I'm just letting you guys know that ahead of time. Now I'm going to actually get into the actual video here, the actual episode here. I just wanted to get off topic to mention that little segment there. Now I'm going to get into the actual episode. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 32 of my show, but this is about Episode 30 of Season 2. And Episode 30 in the second season of the original Power Rangers series is known as Mirror of Regret. Now, as the name of this episode kind of states, this is actually the second episode where one of Zedd's plans, because you see every episode in the 30 segment, at least in the early segment of the 30 segment, and up until episode 39, every single episode in the Power Rangers second season is going to focus, one of Zedd's plans is going to focus on one of the three new Rangers, as I stated in my previous video for you guys. I just wanted to get that out of the way there. The way this episode starts off is basically, Adam and Rocky are teaching a karate class to some kids in the episode, and then basically one of the kids, Shawn, he gets a little, because another kid in the episode tells him that he's not good enough for the team, and they might lose because of him, and then Rocky tells him to quiet down because of that, but then the other kid, Butch, I think is what his name was, he tells them that with someone like Shawn, they are definitely gonna lose the Teen Ninja Finals, like the Junior Ninja Tournament, and basically Rocky says that with an attitude like that, they don't have a team, and then Adam goes over to where Shawn is to basically cheer him up, and then basically what happens is after that he informs Shawn that he once was like him, and well, actually, first what happens is after they dismiss class, the Adam is talking to Shawn basically, and about tell them that, like I said, he was once like them as well, and then he got picked on a lot before he started doing karate and stuff. And then when Zedd overhears that segment of it, he's like, "So the Black Ranger has a soft spot. His memory of being picked on as a child." And then what his plan is I'm gonna explain what his plan is very quickly before I continue with his part. I'm sorry about this. I just wanted to get that little segment of because before I continue, after that, before that segment with Zedd, Shawn and Adam go over to train basically, and then that's, like I said, that's when Zedd finds out about the Black Ranger having a soft spot, like as I said, with him being picked on as a child, and he decides to basically use that as a way to not really destroy him, but sort of weaken him. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by that later on, because basically I wonder how I can turn that, maybe that's a weakness we can turn to our advantage, because they're basically, in this episode, he's trying to find a way to use Adam's weakness of his self-confidence in himself from his memories of his past as a way to basically weaken him, basically. And then it goes into a scene where Adam, well, you see what happens is Zedd is trying to think of a way to basically destroy Adam using the information they learned about his weakness, basically, because of his soft spot. And then that's when it goes to where Adam is with Shawn in their training, and then after that, basically Adam tells Shawn that martial arts helped him kind of mature a bit. Like, not essentially, it didn't make him taller, but it gave him self-confidence in himself, which is basically, essentially what martial arts is about. It's partially about self-confidence, and that basically helped him out as he got older and stuff. And then they continue training, and that's when Zedd figures out a way to use the Black Ranger's soft-spotted weakness against them, Adam's weakness against them, and he tells Goldar, like, "I have the perfect way to destroy the Black Ranger's confidence. The mirror of regret." And then Goldar basically agrees with his master. He's like, because he's agreeing with his master, but he's also asking what the mirror of regret is. And then that's where Zedd basically insults Goldar, where he's like, "Fool, have you no brains at all?" Well, actually, not really. I can't remember the exact words, but he does call Goldar, I think it's just he called him a fool. And then he basically tells Goldar what the mirror of regret is. He's like, "It is the window into the weakest, into the not so good days of a person's past. With it, I will show Black Ranger the embarrassing moments from his childhood and weaken him." So basically, in a sense, what the mirror of regret is sort of similar. It's sort of similar to the plan that Goldar once used back in Season 1 with the Crystal of Nightmares. The Crystal of Nightmares was basically used to he used the Crystal of Nightmares as a way to shatter the Rangers' self-confidence in themselves, which basically makes their powers useless. So this plan is sort of similar to that, except it's with a different object. Oh, and now that I've mentioned about that, remember what I said back when I did season 1, when the Mirror of Destruction was introduced for one of the episodes? I said it was one of 2 times a mirror would be used as a weapon against the Rangers. Now, this is the second of what I meant because of the Mirror of Regret. I just wanted to get that out of the way there. And then, after that, basically what happens is, then it goes into a scene where Adam is still training with Shawn. And then, after that, then it goes to where Zedd is, and he's telling Goldar, he's like, "It is time, Goldar. Take my buddies in the Mirror of Regret down to Earth and show the Black Ranger the most embarrassing moments from his childhood." And then, basically, that's when Goldar says that he's on his way, and then that's when Zedd kind of hurries him up, he's like, "Well, what are you waiting for? Go! Go! What are you waiting for? Doggy treat! Go, 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 go!" And then he's like, "It's so hard to find evil henchmen these days." Which is kind of because it's a funny moment with him, because and then Goldar says, actually, before that segment, Goldar says that he's on his way, and then, basically, what happens is, Goldar shows up where Adam is, and then basically, he tells the Black Ranger that he came to fight him, but then Adam basically tells him, he tells Adam that he came to destroy him, but Adam basically tells him that basically he can't defeat him and he knows it. And then after that segment, Goldar's like, "Big talk, but I have a surprise for you. Attack, my buddies! Teach that human a lesson!" And then he starts fighting the putties a little bit, and then that's when Goldar brings out the Mirror of Regret, and he's like, "Is it the end, Black Ranger? Puny Ranger, meet the Mirror of Regret!" And then basically what happens is, after that, Adam tells Goldar that he has no time for his games. And then Goldar tells him that he's talking big now, but he won't be for much longer. And then he shows him one of the days from when he was a kid, basically, which basically was a coach basically picking some of the other kids and not picking him. And then basically after that, in the next scene, the young version of Adam in the mirror is telling some of the kids that can he play, and one of the kids that they're in the picture in the memory tells them that they don't want him because he's a pipsqueak. And then that basically kind of weakens him a little. And then when Zedd sees that in part of his plan succeeding, he's like, "Excellent! Now to deal with the rest of the Power Rangers." And basically he decides to use a monster to destroy the rest of the Rangers. And he's like, because he's like, "Let's see, I need a particularly vicious monster, particularly cruel monster, one that laughs at its victims." And then he uses his visor thing to peer down at Earth, and then then basically he sees a picture of a hyena in a book, and he's like, the laughing hyena. The laughing hyena. Yes. With a few minor changes, this will make the perfect monster. This cool animal will make this cool vicious animal will make the best monster. And then he basically creates the monster from the hyena picture on the book, and then he's basically the monster he creates is known as Skelerena, apparently, because basically the minor changes that he gives the monster is basically he lets the monster keep the hyena form, but he adjusts it to look more kind of menacing, I guess, in this case, which in a sense makes sense, because if a creature that laughs at its victims is vicious, but it's not really all that dangerous, then it makes sense for a few tiny changes to. Then he tells the monster, he's like, "Monster, you shall be called Skelerena, and I command you to destroy the Power Rangers." And then after the monster's created, it tells Zedd in a laugh like, "Hey, there's no need for an order like that, boss man. It'll be my pleasure to." And then the Rangers are in the youth center, and then that's when their communicator. Well, first what happens is Zedd and Zordon and Alpha are working on a new weapon for the Rangers known as the Power Cannon, and basically Alpha is telling Zordon that he can't wait to finish the Power Cannon, and the other Rangers will be so surprised, and then basically Zordon agrees with Alpha. He thinks that the Power Cannon will be a worthy addition to their arsenal to fight Zedd. And then that's when the alarm in the command center goes off, and then Alpha tells Zordon that he senses another one of Zedd's monsters in the park, but then Zordon also explains to him that that's not all. He senses that one of the Rangers is in serious danger. But he also tells Alpha that first then when Alpha realizes that as well, he tells Alpha to calm down, to first contact the Rangers and inform them about the monster. And then he decides to do that, and then basically that's when the Rangers communicators in the command communicators go off, and they basically Zordon tells them to teleport to the command center to be briefed on the latest situation with Zedd. And after that, basically what happens is once the rest of the Rangers, aside from Adam at this point, are there, they because as I stated before, Zedd is having Goldar use the mirror of regret to basically weaken Adam's self-confidence. So basically, essentially what he's doing is making it so his powers are useless, kind of thing. Anyway, once the Rangers are in the command center, they're wondering what's going on with Adam, and then basically Zordon informs them that Zedd is using a spell along with the Mirror of Regret to try to undermine Adam's self-confidence in himself, and the Rangers are wondering what they can do to help him, but Zordon informs them that they can't. Adam must get his self-confidence back on his own, which is true, because if the spell is affecting him, then he's the one who has to get his self-confidence back because of that. And then basically, that's when he tells the Rangers that Zedd has created a monster that laughs at its victims, just as Goldar is mocking Adam with the Mirror of Regret, which is the Skelerena monster. And then basically Zordon tells the Rangers to basically go to deal with the monster, and he'll contact Adam when he's broken out of Zedd's spell. And then basically what happens is after that, the rest of the Rangers morph to battle the Skelerena monster, and they manage to do it. And they fight the Skelerena monster a little bit, and then after that, the Skelerena monster basically insults them by saying that they're pathetic, and then it goes to a scene. But before I actually finish this video, because I'm getting really close to the end of this episode, I just want to mention something. Before, in the scene, when they went to go fight the monster, when they were being shown the images on the viewing globe, Adam's powers were basically weakening on him because he said, no, this can't be happening. And then basically, I just wanted to backtrack to that part, and then basically Goldar like, this final image will shatter your self-confidence completely. Your young protege is just like you. No self-confidence at all. And he tries to show him a negative image to shatter his self-confidence completely. But then after that negative image happens, he also sees that Adam's young protege is doing well, and he's like, what's this? He's doing well. How did that get in there? And then basically, Adam tells Goldar that basically he's had it with his mockery, and Shawn does have self-confidence, and he'll be just fine. And then basically Goldar says that he's supposed to be getting weaker, but he's not. And then he manages to basically defeat Goldar in the Mirror of Regret, but Goldar gets away. And then after that, Zordon contacts Adam on his communicator and congratulates him for breaking out of Zedd's spell. And then he tells Adam to go to the other Rangers to help them fight the Skelerena monster. And then basically he goes to fight them with the others. And then that's when Zordon and Alpha sent them the power cannon afterward. Because after that point, once Adam shows up, Tommy tells him that the Skelerena monster is tough. And then basically what happens is that's the point when Zordon sends them the power cannon, and they put their different colored charges, some of the different colored charges into the power cannon, and they use the power cannon to basically destroy the monster. And then after they destroy it, Adam makes a little bit of a joke-based pun where he says, now that's a joke with a serious punchline. And then Zedd gets upset that his Skelerena monster was destroyed and that he failed to destroy Adam's self-confidence. And then he calls Goldar in to basically scold him because he's like, well, first when I hate those Power Rangers. And then he calls Goldar and he's like, Goldar, get in here. And then he's telling him that he calls himself a soldier. What happened? And then he asks him down there what happened with the mirror. Asks him what happened. He asks him what happened down there with the Mirror of Regret. Now I think why he asked that question was sort of a rhetorical, because at that point when Goldar tries to explain about what happened, he silences him, and then he tells him that he can't have 6 teenagers in powerful costumes showing him up. He's got a reputation in the galaxy to uphold, and the next time when he sends him down to do a task, he doesn't want him to come back unless it's done. And then basically after that, what basically happens is then it goes into a scene where Shawn is back in the youth center with the other kids for the karate, and then the kid that picked on him earlier at the beginning of the video that I stated asks him how he got so good like that, and then basically Shawn basically tells him that it was just practice. And then basically the kid apologizes to him for them giving him a hard time, and he tells them that basically he'd be glad to be on a team with him any day. And then basically after that, basically what happens is Shawn is thanking him for that, and then basically he's also thanking Adam, and then that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, I'm probably going to post it a little later. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys next time for the next video. So until then, guys, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.